Okay, let's get straight to the point. Let's talk about a breaking news update about the Caleb Wilson Omega Psi Phi situation that happened at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, an HBCU school that's been around for a long time. Now, so if you don't know what happened, Caleb Wilson was a 20-year-old. He was a member of the band, the Herman Jukebox, and he was pledging Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And in that situation with pledging, what ended up happening was, he ended up losing his life. And we'll get into that story and kind of do like a playback on everything that really took place. But it was a sad situation. A lot of people, it was an outpour. A lot of people just really upset about what happened. Now, you had a lot of people that was part of the D9 community, that shared their condolences, but didn't really want to see the entirety of the fraternity in D9 to get a bad look just because of a few bad apples, which sometimes you have that. You got a lot of people that do good and do the right thing. Then you have a few bad apples that mess it up for everybody. Well, from that situation, it's been a couple of months because Caleb Williams, I want to say that happened back in February of 2025 when he passed away. Now, recently, Southern University has released a statement, and they have finally made the decision to expel Omega Psi Phi fraternity from the university campus. The statement says this: notice, Beta Sigma chapter of Omega Psi Phi fraternity expelled. The Beta Sigma chapter of Omega Psi Phi fraternity incorporated has been expelled from Southern University and A&M College. The decision comes after investigators into hazing allegations earlier this year. The Division of Student Affairs conducted a disciplinary hearing to determine whether the chapter was responsible for violations of the Student Code of Conduct, including hazing. The board found the chapter responsible, resulting in the expulsion of the chapter. Expulsion is the termination of the chapter as a registered student organization. The chapter is denied all privileges and rights associated with recognition at Southern University and must remove identifiable markers from campus. This includes the fraternity plot, examples, benches, trees, monument, etc., and other items. So there you have it, people. And right here in this picture, this was posted on Facebook. I guess someone was on the campus, but it shows that the removal of the Omega Psi Phi plots are in progress on Southern University campus. And that's basically, I guess, going to be it. But here's the thing. As you dive deep into this, there are other students and people saying that, look here, this chapter of Omega Psi Phi, this is not their first time having disciplinary actions taken against them. You have some people say that they was not expelled, but they were suspended. Some people say they had just came back. So people are saying like this chapter had been suspended maybe once or twice before this happened. And they kept getting a chance to get back in. And now you had the decision where you're saying they are expelled. And I'm assuming that means permanently. Now, this whole situation is just crazy. Caleb Wilson, young man, want to be a part of a fraternity. If I stand correct, I want to say they say his dad was also a part of D9. I'm not sure if it was Omega Psi Phi, but he was also a member of a fraternity. So maybe he wanted to follow in his dad's footsteps. But as a parent, you send your child off to college, you do not expect for them to come back in a body bag when all they was doing their schoolwork, getting close to graduating, in the band, and then wanted to join a brotherhood, and then you end up losing your life. This whole story was really crazy.
Caleb Wilson's body was laid to rest in mid-March.
We just know that Caleb wouldn't want us to be down.
But his spirit continues to get justice nearly 2 months after his death.
He was a son, a friend, a classmate, a talented musician.
Just to recap, Wilson died in the early morning of February 27th.
As the direct result of a hazing incident
after what police call an unsanctioned off-campus fraternity pledging ritual at a Baton Rouge warehouse.
While pledging to Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
They say 23-year-old Caleb McRae punched Wilson 4 times in the chest with boxing gloves, causing him to collapse. Nobody called 911. Instead, fraternity leaders took him to the hospital, initially claiming he collapsed playing basketball.
The location reported initially was not accurate.
McRae turned himself in March 7th.
McRae has been charged with criminal hazing and manslaughter.
Two others, Kyle Thurman and Isaiah Smith, followed soon after. Investigators say Smith was in charge of Wilson and the other pledges.
I encourage all the young people out there to make better decisions.
This week, the Omega Psi Phi fraternity confirmed it's ousted the trio, posting their names on an expelled persons list.
It was heartbreaking.
Now, some state leaders want to prevent this from happening again.
No one is thinking about sending their kid off to school and that child not coming back alive.
Democratic State Rep Delisha Boyd filed a bill known as the Caleb Wilson Act, which would require future fraternity and sorority members to take a 1-hour course on hazing.
Now, in my opinion, I don't necessarily think a 1-hour course on hazing is going to really change anything. This type of stuff been going on for years. It even goes on back in the high school days with high school stepping groups. Now, I'm not saying people lost their life, but I'm saying the whole process of getting into a fraternity or group or step group or whatever has been around. Now, they have had these issues before, not just at Southern. You had an issue at FAMU. So it's not like this is the first time that quote unquote hazing has been an issue when it comes to these things. So having an act in place that's going to make people take a 1-hour course, what do you really think that's going to change when you still going to have some bad apples who's going to feel like, okay, I'm going to take this course, and I took it. But that don't mean that I'm going to go out here and do the right thing like Spike Lee. Because that's what you're trying to say by taking this course. That means this is going to basically eliminate this from happening. This fraternity allegedly at Southern, this chapter had been suspended before, maybe once or twice. So what was done then? What parameters were put in place to say, okay, hey, we're going to let you back, but this better not happen. So look here, this stuff happens. This ain't the first time that a fraternity, sorority, whatever has been in trouble for this type of thing, and it continues to happen. So I don't necessarily think a 1-hour course is going to change that completely from happening ever again. Maybe people just be a little bit more cautious on what they do when they do this process, but it's going to be some people who's going to still do it. And you're going to have those who are not going to do that. You're going to have those who are going to say, look here, we're not doing that no more. But you have a lot of these guys and ladies who come up in the fraternity, sorority world, and they went through the process that they went to back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And sometimes they feel like, hey, we still going with that. And there are people who have done that, and they ain't done it to the extent where somebody lost their life. So I get it when you have some of these people saying, hey, don't let a few bad apples ruin the image of what fraternity and sorority, the D9 thing is all about. Because you have some good brothers and some good sisters out there. I know plenty of them. But I will leave you with this. The best person that I've seen speak on this and just give a good breakdown on this from all the people that's involved, I want to just leave y'all with this Ryan Clark video. He is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, and he broke it down to the T, just how this whole thing about joining a sorority or fraternity should be and what it's about. Y'all listen to this.
The Divine Nine, right, was started in the early 20th century to uplift and educate black communities, right? It wasn't meant to be this thing where you had to walk around like those colors meant you were in the game. We ain't Crippin', right? This ain't Bloods, right? It shouldn't be necessarily this physical initiation to it. I pledged in 01, right, at New Iota, and they called us the White House because there was a different level of intensity that went into the way we party, to the way we live, to the way we pledge, right? Like if you was gonna scroll, you weren't gonna skate, and I got that. Of my line, bro, I was probably the person that needed or even wanted to be a noob the least. I didn't need friends. I didn't need popularity. I didn't need to be seen. I was a junior. I had all that. You know what I'm saying? And there were cats, man, when I walked in on the first night, who that's all they had talked to me about since they had been at college. They just couldn't take it, right? I'm not a Kappa now because I wanted it the most. I'm a Kappa because I can learn under adversity. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Kappa because I'm tough as shit, right? And I made a decision the night I walked in, and the first time somebody put hands on me, it wasn't but two ways I was leaving. I was leaving as a Kappa or beating your ass. That's not what it's supposed to be. right? We're not trying to show people that we could be the toughest humans in the world. We're trying to be the smartest. We're trying to be the closest. We're trying to be the ones that sow back into the community, because that's the reason the Divine Nine was created, because we couldn't be a part of these other Greek fraternities, because those fraternities and sororities were white. So we had to build our own thing to uplift each other. But that's not what brotherhood is, bro. I remember when I got off of the wall, right? I damn near ain't won't mess with none of them. It was the 6 people that were with me, and that was it, because all I could remember was how you treated me, right? When people came from Alpha Sig, all I could remember was how you treated me. It's still dudes to this day I don't F with because of that, right? Because I know that my thinking is, what you're doing to me, I've been here for 3 years already. You never do this to me in the club, right? You never do this to me outside the dorm, because you know what happened. Now you taking advantage of me. You shouldn't feel like you're being, and this man lost his life, right? A 20-year-old kid with promise, right? A 20-year-old kid that was smart, a 20-year-old kid that was educated, that just wanted to be a part of your brotherhood, is now no longer here. And a 23-year-old and a 25-year-old and a 28-year-old black man can lose part of their lives too over something silly, because y'all ain't no fucking killers, right? That wasn't your intention. But because your intention wasn't to embrace, because your intention wasn't to love, because your intention wasn't to just educate and bring a young man closer, now he's no longer here. Now his family got to deal with that. Now your family got to deal with that. 2 other young brothers' families got to deal with that. And I don't know what the answer is, because it's not just about the Divine Nine. It's not just about the black Greek fraternities and sororities. It's about all of them. There's a process that goes into whatever this brotherhood or this sisterhood is that has nothing to do with brotherhood or sisterhood. And trust me, I get it. When you go through a certain thing to be a part of something, you want everybody else that's a part of that thing to go through it the same way you went through it, because that makes it special. But it don't make you brothers. It don't make you sisters. And now, like, period, point blank, whether it's your intention or not, you're a fucking killer.
Yep.
It's either they got to make a decision that the legalities involved in hazing, the ramifications and consequences when it comes to your education, the ability to be a part of these organizations is so steep and so tough and so harsh that it never happens again, or do away with the shit altogether. Because I've been a Kappa now for 24 years and I love my brothers, but I promise you it's not worth your fucking life.
Y'all get in the comments and tell me what y'all think. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos. I'm Gertie Matt. Holla.